Don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay updated with my personal stories. Now, before I begin, please tell me where you're watching from. I'd love to know which cities and towns are watching me. The night sun opened my door quietly, and what he told me completely changed my night. It was well past midnight when I heard the softest knock on my bedroom door. Just one, barely there, like someone who was unsure if they should even be knocking. I looked up immediately. Before I could respond, the door opened just enough for him to step inside. He didn't say anything at first, just stood in the half-dark room, chest rising and falling like he was trying to steady himself. I sat up. "Son, what's going on?" He shut the door behind him halfway and walked closer, slowly, like every step cost him something. When he reached the foot of the bed, he finally spoke. "I didn't know where else to go tonight." His voice was low, tired, heavy. I shifted, giving him room to sit, and he did, right beside me, close enough for me to feel how tense he was. "What happened?" I asked softly. He dragged a hand over his face, exhaling shakily. "Everything hit me at once," he said, "and I tried to handle it, but I couldn't." I watched him carefully, his hands, his breath, his eyes avoiding mine a little too deliberately. He glanced up then, and that's when I felt the shift. Something unspoken, something charged, something that had clearly been sitting inside him for a long time. He swallowed hard. "I shouldn't be here," he murmured, "but tonight, I needed you." A slow warmth crept through the room. "Tell me," I said quietly. "Whatever it is, just tell me." He took a breath, deep, unsteady, then leaned forward slightly, his voice dropping lower. "I'm scared of what this means," he whispered. "But I can't pretend anymore." I felt my heartbeat kick. "Pretend what?" I asked. He lifted his eyes again, and the way he looked at me in that moment made the whole night shift beneath my feet. "That it didn't affect me," he said. "That I didn't feel anything." His jaw tightened. "That I don't think about you more than I should." My breath caught. He held my gaze, silent, burning, waiting. "I shouldn't say this," he whispered. But tonight, I couldn't hold it in anymore. The room went still after his words. So still, I could hear the faint ticking of the clock on my dresser. He wasn't looking away this time. He was holding my eyes like he needed me to understand exactly what he had finally let slip. My breath trembled. "Come here," I whispered. He shifted closer without hesitation, slow, deliberate, until his knee brushed mine and a soft warmth spread through the small space between us. His voice dropped even lower. "I tried to ignore it," he murmured. "I swear I did, but every time I see you, it gets harder." My heart thudded once, hard. "Son?" I breathed, not trusting my voice. He leaned in just slightly, close enough for his scent to reach me, close enough that the heat of him brushed my skin. "I know I shouldn't say any of this," he whispered. "But tonight, I needed to be near you." His fingers flexed against his thigh like he was stopping himself from reaching for me. Every moment, every inch of space between us was thick with tension. Soft, warm, dangerous tension that neither of us had the strength to deny anymore. "What happened tonight?" I asked quietly. He laughed under his breath, a quiet, shaky sound. "You," he said. The single word made my pulse jump. He continued, voice ragged. "I was trying to forget about you, trying to distract myself, trying to just breathe." His hand curled tighter. "But everything reminded me of you instead." Silence. He exhaled slowly, eyes darkening. "And that's when I realized I wasn't going to be able to sleep until I saw you." I felt my chest tighten, heat rising slowly under my skin. Why? I whispered. His answer was immediate, soft, honest, trembling at the edges. Because you're the only person who calms me down. He swallowed. And the only person who drives me crazy at the same time. My lips parted, but no words came out. He leaned in a little closer, not touching, but close enough to feel the warmth of him wrap around me. I know I shouldn't want this, he said softly. But every time I'm near you, I feel it. Feel what? I whispered. His eyes flicked down to my lips, just for a second, before rising back to mine. That pull, he murmured. That thing between us that's been there for a long time. My breath caught sharply. He shifted again, closing the last inch between us until I could feel the whisper of his breath. If I'm wrong, he said slowly, tell me. I didn't. I couldn't. He exhaled shakily. The kind of breath a man releases only when he knows the truth he was hoping for is right in front of him. Yeah, he whispered. That's what I thought. The space between us felt electrified now. Soft, warm, and dangerous in the way only something unspoken for too long can be. He stayed there, close enough that I could feel every breath he took, close enough that one wrong movement would erase the space between our mouths completely. But he didn't rush. He held still, like he wanted to memorize this moment, like he wasn't sure he'd ever get another. His voice dropped, barely above a whisper. I wasn't supposed to come here tonight. I swallowed. Then why did you? His eyes flicked over me slowly, hungry in a way he tried to hide, gentle in a way he couldn't. I was pacing, he admitted, walking back and forth in my room, telling myself to forget it, to ignore this, to pretend you don't get to me. His jaw tightened. But you do, more than I want to admit. Heat curled through my stomach. Son, I murmured. He let out a quiet, helpless laugh, shaking his head. I keep replaying every moment we've ever had, he said. Every look, every conversation, every time I caught myself wanting more. The confession hit me like a soft, warm shock. I whispered, More? His eyes locked onto mine instantly. Yes, he said. More. He reached up, slowly, like he was giving me every chance in the world to pull back. He didn't touch me. Not yet. He hovered his hand near my cheek, close enough for the heat to ghost over my skin. Tell me to stop, he breathed. But I didn't. I couldn't. The silence said everything. A slow, relieved breath escaped him, mixed with something deeper, something hotter, something he'd been caging for too long. I've wanted to be this close for months, he whispered. His hand moved just slightly, fingers brushing the air an inch from my jaw, like he was fighting himself harder than he was fighting me. You have no idea what you do to me, he said, voice trembling. I felt my pulse beat everywhere. What do I do to you? I asked softly. His throat bobbed, eyes darkening. You make me forget every line I'm supposed to respect. My breath caught. You make me want things I shouldn't want, he continued, and feel things I can't pretend away anymore. He leaned in, slow, deliberate, breathing me in like he'd been craving it. His voice dropped to a low, warm murmur. And the way you're looking at me right now tells me you feel it too. I didn't deny it. My silence told him everything. He exhaled shakily, lips inches from mine. Say something, he whispered. My voice came out barely audible. What do you want to hear? He didn't hesitate. That you want me. The moment he said those words, that you want me, the entire room felt like it tilted. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't teasing. He wasn't playing some careless game. He looked raw, exposed, like a man finally saying the thing he'd been biting back for far too long. I felt my breath tremble. "Son," I whispered. He leaned in just a fraction more, closing the last sliver of air between us until his lips hovered a single heartbeat away from mine. Close enough to feel, close enough to taste, close enough that one tiny movement would shatter every boundary we had held onto. His voice came out tight, low, almost pained. "Don't say my name like that," he whispered. "You know what it does to me." Heat pulsed through me. He searched my face, his gaze tracing every inch like he was memorizing it. "You don't have to lie," he murmured. "Not tonight, not when you're looking at me like that." He reached up again, and this time his fingers brushed my jaw. Barely, just a soft, trembling touch. But the effect was immediate. A slow wave of warmth rippled under my skin. My breath caught in my throat. His hand lingered, hesitant but desperate. "Tell me you don't feel this," he whispered. I didn't answer. I couldn't. His thumb moved, the lightest stroke along my cheekbone, and I swear I felt the whole room pull tight around us. He inhaled sharply. That's what I thought. His forehead almost touched mine now. His breath warmed my lips. His heartbeat echoed in the inch of space between us. "I came here tonight because I couldn't take it anymore," he admitted. "Pretending I don't think about you. Pretending I don't watch the way you move. Pretending I don't want you." My pulse thudded, hard. It was driving me insane. He brushed the side of my neck with his knuckles, slow, reverent, hungry in a way that made my stomach drop. "You have no idea," he whispered, "how hard it's been to keep my distance." His lips hovered right at the corner of my mouth, not touching, just torturing. "You want me to say it?" I breathed. His eyes snapped up to mine. "Yes," he said, voice deepening. "Say it." I swallowed, heat pooling low and warm. "You want to hear that I want you?" His jaw clenched. "More than anything." "And if I say it," I murmured, "what happens then?" His breath hitched, his self-control dangling by a thread. "Then," he whispered, "I'll finally do what I've been dying to do every time I've looked at you." Everything inside me tightened. "What's that?" I whispered. His answer was a warm, trembling breath against my lips. Close the space between us. He stayed there, breath warm against my lips, body rigid with the effort it took not to close that last, aching inch. Every part of him wanted to erase the space between us. I could feel it in the tremble of his fingers near my jaw, in the way his chest rose unevenly, in the tension pulsing off him in waves. But he waited. For me. For my answer. For permission. For something neither of us knew how to say, without the whole world shifting around us. I finally whispered, "Son." He closed his eyes, like he was bracing himself for whatever came next. "I do want you," I said softly, "but not like this. Not when you're this overwhelmed. Not when you came here because you were hurting." His eyes opened slowly, filled with heat, longing, and something deeper, something tender, restrained, aching. He let out a slow breath, nodding once, a real nod. A nod that said he heard me, respected me, wanted more than a moment driven by emotion. He pulled back only enough to look at me fully. "I didn't come here for anything physical," he murmured. "I came because I needed you, all of you, your presence, your voice, your calm." Something inside me softened, a warmth blooming deep and steady. "And if anything ever happens between us," he continued quietly, "I want it to be because you chose it. not because I showed up at your door torn apart. I felt my heart swell, not with lust, but with something deeper, something rare. Good men can desire you, want you, burn for you. But a man who wants you and still pulls back when it matters? That's different. That's rare. He stood slowly, exhaling like it hurt him to move away. He brushed his thumb once more across my cheek, a soft, lingering touch that held more emotion than any kiss could have. "We're not done," he said gently. "You know that." I swallowed. "I know." He stepped back toward the door, stopping with his hand on the knob. His voice softened to a warm promise. "When you're ready, and when I'm in the right headspace, I'll come back." Then he opened the door, looked at me one last time with eyes full of everything he didn't act on, and walked out quietly, leaving the room warm, breathless, and humming with the possibility of what might happen. Not tonight, but one day soon.